How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is an update on my ninja combo to maximize the damage you can output on Awakening. Now, this is the max damage combo I found. This does not mean it's the max damage combo for Awakened Ninja. If you guys have a better damaging combo, leave it down in the comment section down below. Now, on your screen, you can see the skill add-ons. These skill add-ons are specifically designed to maximize the damage of the combos I'm going to show you. The only exception to that is Katana Shower, because we don't use Katana Shower in the combo, so that one is free for you to use as you wish. I would recommend maybe tweaking a few things if it's for 1vx and large scale situations. This is, like I said, to maximize the damage of this specific skill combo. Okay, so on your screen now you can see a visual representation of all the skills that you need to perform this combo. Feel free to pause it here if you'd like to practice it on a dummy. The faded skills you see at the top are just some replacements for the skills that are directly underneath. So for players that don't like using Ghost Claw, I've put Illusion there for them. And for players that prefer in their combos doing the Shuriken Throw Stomp, I've put that option in there as well. Now I'm going to quickly go through the combos, then I'm going to break the combos down, give you some tips and tricks, and then we're going to go show it in game. If you just want to see it in game, there'll be a timestamp on your screen now, so just follow that timestamp if you're not interested in me talking about this combo. So to start off with, if you grab your opponent in the pre-awakening, you're going to hit them with the Blade Spin, then Malice, then Fox Claw. This is normally where you re-stiff your opponent. Then you're going to hit them with Mark Explosion Murderous. This will not reapply another stiff onto your opponent because of how CC mechanics work. You have a 1 second grace period after a stiff, so other stiffs don't work. These two get counted as filler damage. You then hit them with the Serpents for the reflow. After the Serpents, you will go into Ghost Claw. After the second animation, you cancel the Ghost Claw with Shadow Slash, Hot Aiming, then I do a back Ghost Step Stomp and turn my camera and hit them with the clones. So that is the first combo. The second combo you can see is pretty much almost identical. The only difference is with the Awakened grab, I hit them with Murderous first. Then I go into Blade Spin, Malice, Fox Claw, Mark Explosion, Serpents. So usually it's either the Malice or the Fox Claw that re-stiffs your opponent. It just depends on your game speed and how fast you do your inputs. But either one of these two will re-stiff your opponent. Again, if it is the Shuriken, don't worry, Fox Claw and Mark Explosion will not reapply the stiff because you have that grace period. Then you're going to hit them with the Serpents for the refloat. After that, we're going to go into the Ghost Claw. After the second animation, it's the same. Cancel with Shadow Slash into Hard Aiming, and then do back Ghost Step Stomp, turn the camera, and hit them with Shadow Clones. So now, a couple of tips and tricks and a breakdown of why the combo is in the order that it is. First thing is, like I've mentioned, if you guys don't use Ghost Claw, feel free to use Illusion in its place. I understand that people that prefer to use Ghost Slash, I get it. It's a decent movement skill. I just don't like it because the cooldown is so high. I can't really use it reliably. I like the I prefer this because it's on a 15-second cooldown and it allows me to really shred DP targets. This specific combo is designed to kill those DP evasion targets. Does not mean it will, but it's the best damage that I've found to hit them with so far. Now, next thing, like I said, if you prefer to do Shuriken Throw, go ahead. But I would not use any of the other cancels because the other cancels are just a little bit too slow. So after that, now that that's out of the way, what I would say is if you do use Illusion here, there's a couple of things you do need to be careful of. Let's say you're fighting a witch or a wizard or a striker that has his clones out when you've got the CC on him and they still have their clones out at the point they've gotten to this part of the combo. You might not want to use Illusion here because if your Illusion gets hit, you end up doing a back iframe, just like a Ghost Step pretty much. This then increases the distance between you and your target, so you kind of either have to Ghost Step back or use the Shadow Slash to close the gap between you and your opponent, which means you have to kind of follow through with the Shadow Slash skill here, which is not the best thing, because really what you're doing here with the Shadow Slash is you immediately cancelling it into Hard Aiming. Like, you pretty much don't even see the Shadow Slash. That's how quick you want to do it. Whereas if there is a distance between you and your target, you will probably have to do at least one of the full animations of the slash, maybe even two. So that does slow you down a little bit. So I wouldn't recommend using Illusion in certain scenarios. Once you figure out what those scenarios are, what you can do instead of using the Illusion is do a stance switch into Shadow Slash. So instead of this skill here, you do a stance switch into shadow/heart aiming, and then you'll do fatal blow flow, and then you'll continue to do your shadow, like ghost step shadow stomp or shuriken flow shadow stomp with this camera turn into the clones. So that's the advice I'd give on those specific scenarios. Now, there are a couple other ways you can get into this combo. So this top combo here, you can actually do it off an awaken grab as well. If you don't feel comfortable doing the bottom one, you feel more comfortable with muscle memory doing the top combo, that's fine. From the awaken grab, you can still do this top combo, but you cannot do it the other way around. You can't do a pre-awaken grab into the combo underneath. It will not work. If you do catch your opponent with, let's say, instead of a grab, if you catch him with a crescent slash or a throw kick, you can do this combo. Obviously, it's a bit more difficult to catch more experienced players with those skills, but do keep it in mind in case it does happen. It also works if you catch them with the float on boss slaughter. Not the bound, but the float. So do keep that in mind as well. If you catch your opponent with the floating boss slaughter, you can also do this combo. If you catch them with the shadow stomp, you can also do this combo, but obviously you can't end with shadow stomp. So for this last skill here, if you got your illusion available, you can replace it with an illusion. Or you can just replace it with heart aiming, shadow/heart aiming fatal blow flow instead of these two skills, or any other filler skill you see fit that is available to you. You can replace it here at the end instead if you do catch them with the shadow stomp and you decide to do this combo. Finally, a couple of quick notes. If you hit them with a down smash on the blade spin, the combo won't work. What you'd have to do is, let's say you hit them with a down smash on blade spin, just do Malice, Stance Switch, Murderous, Serpents. If you're down here and you hit them with, again, if you hit them with the down smash on this one here, right after Shuriken Throw, just Stance Switch and do Serpents. You need to skip the Fox Claw and the Mark Explosion if you get the down smash, because down smash decreases your CC window time, so you end up stiffening your opponent really early. You just end up, the next skill, so the Shuriken Throw will stiffen your opponent. You can't get off 3 extra stiffs and then Serpents. This last stiff here will end up re-CCing your opponent, so do keep that in mind. But I think that is all the tips and tricks I can give you guys. Now, to break down the combo, why we do it in this order, if you're interested in hearing that, is after the grabs, this top combo here is the blade spin applies the 30% crit hit rate. This increases the damage of your blade spin and the shadow stomp that you're going to use further on in your combo. And then it's also going to give a 20 DP shred on your opponent, which is pretty goddamn massive. The Shuriken Throw is going to give you the attack speed buff, which is important to be able to pull off this combo, because it is a lot of skills that you need to use. And on top of that, it's going to give you an accuracy buff of 4%, so that's pretty good as well. The Fox Claw is where you're usually going to re-stiff your opponent here. This is going to give the evasion shred, the 4% evasion shred on your target, and a 3% down attack damage. Now, I will say the down attack damage isn't really going to affect your total damage by that much, because it's only really going to increase the damage of 2 hits of Ghost Claw, and if you do hit them with the clones, it's going to increase the damage of clones if they're still on the ground, but normally they're kind of standing up here. So really, you're slightly increasing the damage for 2 hits on this skill. So you do feel free to use a different modifier if you want to, but if you really want to squeeze the maximum damage out of it, technically you will do slightly more damage with that modifier. Now, the Mark Explosion into Murderous. So the reason we're doing this is because Mark Explosion is the fastest way to get from pre-awakened into awakened. It's also the only skill outside of stance switching, the C swap or your Y swap on console or triangle swap on PlayStation, from getting from pre-awakened to awakened. This is the fastest method, which is important because of that 1 second grace period. We need to get into awakened as quick as possible because we want to hit them with the Murderous. Now, the skill add-ons won't apply because the T1 skill add-ons and the T2 skill add-ons that we have on Fox Claw and Malice take priority. That's good. We want it to be that way. But the reason you want to hit them with the Murderous is because it has an innate DP debuff. So by the time you get to the Serpents, you've got a decent accuracy modifier on yourself. You have a decent evasion shred on your target. You've got 2 DP shreds on your target, and now you're floating them with the Serpents, which has the crit damage modifier on it and an air attack modifier on it. So your damage on Serpents is now going to be primed. I don't think there's a way to make your Serpents do more damage as it is going to do here. And as all Awakened Ninjas know, most of your damage is in this one skill. So this is why we've pre-buffed the fuck out of ourselves before hitting this skill / debuffed our opponent. Now, Ghost Claw. So this combo is specifically designed to deal with these evasion targets. So I know Illusion is a very good damaging skill, and against most players you probably can squeeze out more damage with the Illusion rather than the Ghost Claw. But one thing I am going to say, when you are fighting these evasion memes, trust me, there's been plenty of times I've used Illusion Restraint and I've done almost no damage to them. Like, they just evade so much of the damage because you need so much accuracy on the Awakened Ninja. This is really good consistent damage. Like, these 2 hits are going to hit your opponent and they are going to chunk your opponent. That's why I like using it. I do understand that the 3rd hit is where the majority of your damage is, but Heart Aiming and Shadow Stomp also have accuracy modifiers on them. Heart Aiming is a 50% accuracy modifier. It hits even harder than the 3rd hit of your of your Ghost Claw. So that's why I cancel the 2nd hit into Heart Aiming, because it does more damage. And Shadow Stomp also chunks. It's got a 25% evasion, it's got a 25% innate accuracy on the skill, which is the same as Ghost Claw. It doesn't have the crit modifiers, but because we've got the 30% crit here, it's pretty close to 100. But again, this skill does more damage than the 3rd hit of Ghost Claw. So both of these skills do more damage than the 3rd hit of Ghost Claw. That's why I cancel after the 2nd hit and do these skills instead. You can ride it out. Like, if you know your opponent is 100% going to be dead on the 3rd hit, you don't need to do the rest of these skills. Just let him die, bro. Just hit that 3rd hit and get it over with. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility in this skill as well. Now, the Shadow Clones, it's a similar concept if you watched my previous combo video. You're not always going to get the damage off here, but you can. You can get the damage off here, so it's worth doing. It's hard for your opponent to punish it. You've got plenty of time to go step away after the Shadow Clones. It is a very fast input, so I would recommend throwing it in. Now, if you're afraid that you might get grabbed because your opponent is standing up, feel free just to go step instead. But I've done it a few times and I've yet to be grabbed from this combo, so I think it's pretty safe to do. But again, it's up to your discretion whether you want to end with that skill or not. You won't get the down smash modifier, you won't get the down smash proc on console anyway, because like I said, they are standing up. PC, maybe you can get the down smash proc on this if you're lucky, because I know with your rigs, things are a bit faster. Okay, so now with the final part of the video where I'm going to show off this skill against Strike Shadow over here. Now, as you can see, I've brought myself to the 2-6 down to the 2-6-1 bracket. So 2-6-1, 2-6-3 with a pen accuracy offhand for these first couple tests. I would recommend for most ninjas, if you want to be able to deal with evasion targets, if you can hit this bracket with the pen accuracy offhand, that's a really good time to invest in it. Because in 1v1s against evasion memes or hybrid memes, an accuracy offhand is going to go a long way because it gives you a lot of accuracy, so you can do more damage to them. But it also gives you more DP than a pen Kudum, and it gives you more evasion than a pen Kudum. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for them to deal with you. You're taking away as much of the advantages they have as you can and trying to give yourselves a bit more advantage. But it isn't always going to work out depending on what kind of build they're running. Now, Strike Shadow in this test has got full pen armors. He's also got a pen Rosar in his offhand, along with the pen Sissel's necklace in his necklace. So he's got his hybrid build going on over here, but he's not full meme. Usually if a striker does opt to go full meme, they're looking at a Tet/Pen Sissels with a Tet/Pen Centaur with a pen accuracy offhand. And the reason they go for the accuracy offhand is because they are sacrificing a lot of AP for this build, and the accuracy really helps the clones and the damage of the rest of the striker skills to be able to kill their targets. They will have, that build will have a bit more difficulty killing the build that I'm currently running, but once I get my Tet Distos back, it's not going to have any issues. Until Caphras come out, it's going to have no issues killing the build that I'm currently showing you here. So, going into the test, so the 2-6-1 bracket, a few things to note: he doesn't have a Villa buff, and he's not pre-buffing himself with the evasion buff. So we're going to start with the Awaken Grab first into the Murderous, and show you guys that with the 2-6-1 bracket, easy kills right there. Almost killed him with the Serpents, first hit of Ghost Claw finished him off. So now we're going to do the same combo Well, I'll say the same combo. Now we're going to do the other combo from the pre-awaken grab. But he actually resists it right here. So I just end up using the awaken grab instead of waiting for the cooldown, but I do the first combo. So I go from the awaken grab into blade spin, which we talked about earlier. You can easily do that. And that time we killed him on the serpent's hit. So that's just evasion being evasion. It's not that one combo does more damage than the other one. It's more that, you know, he just evaded different hits, a different amount of hits, and I hit, and I was able to successfully hit a different amount of hits that time, because that's just how evasion works. Now, what I did there is I took off another earring, so I dropped myself down to the 253 bracket here, just to show off the full combo. So 253, 255. Even with a pen accuracy offhand, against a hybrid build, it's not going to be enough. Especially if he was to buff, because as you can see, he hasn't buffed right there. Actually, no, he does. He does have the evasion buff right there. So he did buff that time, and with his evasion buff, I wasn't able to kill him. But do keep in mind, he didn't have a Villa buff either, so definitely probably can't kill him. Maybe sometimes if you get lucky with the procs at this AP bracket, you can kill a hybrid build, but more times than not, he is going to live. So he's just healing back up now, waiting for him to heal up, and then I'm going to do the pre-awaken grab. I'm pretty sure he actually does his evasion buff again for this one, if I remember correctly. So I'm also waiting, as you can see, I'm waiting for the heart aiming, because I need that skill. So yeah, he did his evasion buff right there, but he doesn't have a Villa buff still. And as you can see with this bracket now, again, we just shy. We're just shy of killing him. Getting pretty low, but not all the way. So that's me showing off the combos with a couple of different APs. And if you guys want to know about using a Kutum, so if I was to use my full gear, I currently don't have Tech Distos, I blew them up going for pen. But if I had 2 Kaposha earrings, which I do have available, it's hard to see, but I've got another Kaposha there. I think I'm around 268, 270 or 267, 269, I can't remember exactly. But I can pretty much almost kill him every single time with full AP and the accuracy offhand on the serpents. So when I'm using the accuracy offhand, usually he dies on the serpents. There's a couple of times where Strike Shadow did live past the serpents with this build, but there was no times where he downright lived. So it did kill him every single time. Now, with my max AP build using Kutum, usually, more times than not, he would die on the Ghost Claw. So if we go forward a little bit here, show you guys where it is in the combo. So when I'm using my accuracy offhand with full AP, usually this is where he dies, okay? But when I'm using my Kutum, this is normally where he dies. However, with my Kutum, there's a few times where I did have to do the heart aiming to even finish him off, and a couple times where I did have to do the Shadow Stomp to finish him off. And there was one time where I didn't kill him. So it's just very inconsistent damage when I use my Kutum. So that's why the accuracy offhand is really good for these specific scenarios. But with that said, in RBF, in large scale, in 1vx, against regular geared AP build targets, and pretty much everyone else that isn't using a meme build, I'm using the Kutum. The Kutum is really strong for pretty much every scenario that isn't evasion builds. Now, for 1v1s, if you want to have the advantage in that fight, you will have a slight more advantage using an accuracy offhand against most players compared to the Kutum. However, I still prefer using the Kutum because fuck the advantage. I'd rather have that 10% ignore all resistances, because end of the day, if my opponent resists, I'm the one that's going to die, not my opponent, and I hate resists in this game. So I still prefer using the Kutum. Anyway, I hope this combo has helped you out. I hope this insight that I've given has helped you newer ninjas out. I apologize for the more experienced ninjas if you've watched all this and you don't think you've learned much. Sorry, dude, but it is what it is. That is the end of this video. Please do consider leaving a like, leaving a subscription, and I will catch you in the next video. Hope you guys have a good day.